37. Some people may know it, some people may not. The hand of the Lord was upon me, and he brought me out by the Spirit of the Lord, and he set me in the middle of a valley. It was full of bones. He led me back and forth among them, and I saw great many bones on the floor of the valley, bones that were very dry. He asked me, Son of man, can these bones live? I said, Sovereign Lord, you alone know. Then he said to me, Prophesy to these bones and say to them, Dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the Sovereign Lord says to these bones. I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you and make flesh come upon you and cover you with skin. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life, and you will know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I was prophesying, there was a noise, a rattling sound, and the bones came together, bone to bone. I looked, and the tendons and flesh appeared on them, and skin covered them, but there was no breath in them. Then he said to me, Prophesy to the breath, prophesy, Son of man, and say to it, This is what the Sovereign Lord says, Come, breath from the four winds, and breathe into these slain men, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath entered them. They came to life and stood on their feet, a vast army. So, Jordan, video.
The hand of the Lord was upon me. He brought me out by the Spirit of the Lord and set me in the middle of a valley. It was full of bones. He led me back and forth among them, and I saw a great many bones on the floor of the valley. He asked me, Son of man, can these bones live? I said, O Sovereign Lord, you alone know. Then he said to me, Prophesy to these bones and say to them, Dry bones, hear the voice of the Lord. I will rain breath into you, and you will come to life. Then you will know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I was prophesying, there was a noise, a rattling sound, and the bones came together, bone to bone. I looked, and tendons and flesh appeared on them, and skin covered them. But there was no breath in them. Then he said to me, Prophesy to the breath, and say to it, Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe into these slain. So I prophesied as he commanded. Breath entered them. They came to life and stood up on their feet, a vast army.
Pretty cool, huh? So, let's just pray real quick. Could you guys do me a favor? I need your help. Okay, could you guys do me a favor? I need you guys with me to get on your knees and pray. Alright? I'm going to get on my knees too. Okay?
So Father, we come to your presence today, God. Oh Lord, you are sovereign, Lord. Oh Father, God, I speak to the dry hearts today, Lord. God, you sent me here, God. You've put this word of the Lord in my mouth, God. Father, I pray, Lord, that these dry bones, Lord, will come to life, God. I pray, Lord, that there will become, Lord, a different realization of who you are, our sovereign God. Lord, you are in control of everything, Lord. You sustain my very breath, God. Oh, Father, I pray right now, Lord, for the people, God, that don't know you, Lord. Lord, for the people that claim to know you, Lord, and don't know you, God. Lord, I love them, and I know, Father, that you love them so much more than I do. God, I pray, Lord, by your mercy and grace, God, because by that alone I'm kneeling here praying to you, God. Lord, I pray by your grace, God, you will lead me, Lord. You will speak to these people, God. Lord, I pray, Lord, that my identity, Lord, will become less up here, Lord, and you will become greater, God. And I pray, Lord, that at the end of this message, Lord, if it is needed to, God, erase myself, my name from their minds, God, and let them remember just the message, God. Oh, Holy Spirit, I stand here, God, fearing you now, Lord. Sovereign Lord, you are awesome, God, and I thank you for your grace. You are so awesome, God. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you guys for me. Basically, the point, wait, next that up, basically the point of the video was, first of all, because it's an awesome video. Like, I don't know if many of you guys know about, like, special effects or anything like that, but that was an awesome video. They did a good job. But the main image that I wanted to show you guys was, he said sovereign Lord about 4 times in those two chapters. He said sovereign Lord. And God himself described himself as sovereign Lord. So I just wanted to get that word sovereign into your minds, alright, before we start. So, before I start, I also wanted to thank you for the opportunity, for being here. It's a pleasure, it's an honor, and I thank you guys, alright? So, not many people know my story. It's not the focus of today's message, but it's going to help us. It's going to help us get sort of an idea. Both of my parents were pastors, and I grew up in the church. Most people wouldn't have noticed, but I had no clue who God was. So, there I was, a preacher's kid, but I had no idea who this God that I came to every Sunday. And sometimes when I had to go to school on Wednesdays to help my mom and my dad, I had no idea who this God was, right? So most people wouldn't have noticed because, I'm a pastor's kid. So he was like a very blurry but faint image in my mind. People would often tell me, God, Chris, God has an amazing plan for your life. You'll see. One day God's going to use you. So you'll see. Your mother is such an amazing pastor. Trust me, God's going to, you're good. But I wouldn't, to be honest, I had nothing to do with God. And he had nothing to do with me. That's what I thought. Right? I could never imagine God using me. Because of the way I lived. During the week, I lived the way I wanted, and I paid no attention to God. There were 2 reasons why this was the way it was. Number 1, I was either a hypocrite, which I was, let's be honest, or I honestly, at the core of who I was, I did not know God for who he really was. I didn't know God. So I'm going to ask you guys this question. Have you ever done something throughout your life that you were so used to and did without no thought at all, but then you came to realize, or someone told you, or you found out somehow, that it was either illegal, against the law, or it hurt someone a lot? Has anyone ever done that? Yeah. Alright, cool. I'm going to give an example about myself. With me, it was downloading free music online. Right? Growing up, my sister listened to hip-hop and rap. She was basically the blackest wench you could ever meet. I'm not gonna lie, she was all that. So and back then there was a software called BearShare. You know that? BearShare? Yeah? Don't download. That would let you browse, listen to, buy, and download for free. Millions of songs. I remember scrolling down and finding all these types of links, right? There were, the free ones, which of course I downloaded, and the ones that you had to buy. And once I was scrolling down, I'd be like, why would anyone want to buy these songs when you can easily just download them for free and put it onto your iPod? What I didn't know was that I was breaking the law. I had seen my sister do it for so many times, right? But later I found out that artists, they have to pay to make music. So let's say Lexon here, he's a music producer. I'm a rapper. I go over to Lexon, and he sells me his beat, and I rap over that beat, and then I sell it on iTunes, right? And I'm downloading that music for free. And when that hit me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I did it for all these years, and I didn't even know. All these years, and then from now on, I knew, right? Like it was so amazing how you can do something so normal, so everyone did it, right? Hopefully no one does it. I'm not going to ask for you to put it up your hand, but it was just something so normal. But when I realized that it was breaking the law, then it kind of changed, right? But the main thing I wanted to get at from the story was at first I didn't know. And because I didn't know, I did what I wasn't supposed to. But now that I do know, everything changes. Everything changes. Because now I know. Most of you guys are sitting not knowing something. And once I tell you, everything changes. Everything changes. I'm going to take from my hands the responsibility of you not knowing what I'm about to say and put the responsibility on you. Some may be angry at me at the end of this message, but I know for a fact, by the power of the Holy Spirit, your eyes will be open. And instead of feeling bad, now that you have this weight of truth, you will be happy because you know. So, just this little verse that just kind of compares with all I'm saying. In Acts 17, verse 30, in the past, God overlooked such ignorance. But now, He commands everyone, everywhere, to repent. Right? So, now that we do know, or now that I know that downloading music is wrong, God's commanding me not to do it. Lord, I thank you, God, for this opportunity, Lord, and I pray, Lord, that you will show us mercy tonight, God, and that you will show us, God, who you truly are, God, and when I'm about to tell them, God, I pray, Lord, that they will not just settle on their ears, on their minds, God, will sink into their hearts, God. It will go far beyond my lips, beyond this microphone, God, beyond the speakers, Lord, beyond their ears, God. I pray, Lord, that it will hit them, Lord, with such a weight, God, that will cause them, Lord, to think, to look upon their lives, to compare these truths with their lives. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Most of us live our lives without knowing God or having a relationship with Him. And honestly, that is the heart of Christianity, to know God. To know God is basically what Christianity is. To have a relationship with the Father. To get to know this God that created the heavens and the earth. So, I see people and I can't help but think, do they know God? Sometimes I'm walking by, maybe other Christians, maybe Muslims sometimes, and Catholics, and then Jehovah's Witnesses, and I think, like, man, do they really know God? They know God. I mean, sure, everyone has a certain knowledge of God, but if I were to ask you and keep asking you about God, it would probably sound a little repetitive. If I were to keep on insisting and asking you about the Christian faith, what it means, what happened to you, what you did, it'd probably be something like this. God is love. Jesus died for me. And that God is relational. And He desperately wants a relationship with you. That's basically what I would get out of you guys. Most people. But don't get me wrong, please. Some of these things that I just said, like, these sayings, they are truth. But we say them like a cliche. We don't really understand what we're saying. Right? If I were to ask you, be like, hey, why did Jesus come? Did He really, why did He die? We would start to okay, what was that thing that, Mr. Vincent was saying again? Because we honestly don't know. So in the midst of all these Christian cliches we throw around without truly understanding them, we make God sound desperate. As if He's up there constantly, desperately trying to get my attention. This is totally wrong. Very wrong. We have created this assumption that we choose Jesus, that I invited Him, that I let Him do something, that I let Him change something. Revelation chapter 3, verse 20. This is Jesus speaking. Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come and eat with him and him with me. God said that He waits outside the door and He knocks. He doesn't cry that He knows you. Here I am. God lets us know that He's there. I stand at the door and knock. He doesn't beg. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come and eat with him and him with me. In this passage, we have no image of me or you inviting Jesus to open the door. But instead, we have Jesus inviting us to open the door. Please open the door. I'm here. It doesn't say please. He's saying, Lexon, I'm here. Richard, I'm here. I'm knocking. I'm here. Now this changes a little. From please to here I am. To knock to beg. It changes a little what Jesus is trying to say. Some of us think that we invite Jesus when really He's inviting us. We think that we hold a decision when really God is holding us in His hands. Chris, I'm dealing with a couple of things right now in my life, and I'm not really ready to let it go yet. I know God is calling me, but I'm not ready. This is a distorted image of God. This is like an image of us holding any at all power or a say in what God's trying to do. Yes, you're struggling to let go, but don't you think that you hold a choice to go to God or not? To serve Him or not? Because meanwhile, this little tantrum that you're throwing, God is sustaining you with your breath. Your mother and father that are working while you're going to school, meanwhile, He's sustaining them and giving them life. And to be honest, I don't consider that all the time. So I just want to do a quick test. I'm not going to get up or anything. I'm going to kneel down. I want everyone, as deep as they can, just breathe Breathe. Hold. Now. Okay, whoever has bad breath, I still love it. And that what you just did, God allowed you to. I don't know if you realize that. Not many of us realize that. Not many of us realize that God is allowing many things that we do. So by the time that I was speaking right now, since we last breathed, we probably breathed for what, 8 times? 5, maybe. God's allowing that. Meanwhile, I speak. As I speak, God's allowing all this to happen. So, I have this verse. This will give a little better image. I put a question mark beside it, so I don't know if I'm going to read it or not. Yes. So, Psalm 39, verse 4. Show me, Lord, my life's end, and the number of my days. Let me know how fleeting my life is. You have made my days as a mere handbreadth. The span of my years is as nothing before you. Everyone is but a breath, even those who seem secure. Surely everyone goes around like a mere phantom. In vain they rush about, heaping up wealth without knowing whose it will finally be. We have this hardcore image of us, our life. When he said a handbreadth, breathe into your hand. And imagine that little tiny hair in your hand. That is what the body is saying. That's what God is describing himself as. And finally, this is where I wanted to get to. So, the sovereignty of God through truth of God, which is called theology. Okay. I was just looking for your reaction because, sometimes theology, it kind of scares me. Out of all these pages, this is where I wanted to get to. You cannot know God or come to have a relationship with Him without theology and doctrine. Now, when I hear these words, doctrine and theology, I can't help but picture, these thick, dusty books, wrinkly old bearded men with glasses, just like, reading these big books. Because they sound so foreign to us, right? Like, some of you may say, I don't need theology to be a Christian. I myself said that for a while. When I say, really, I disagree. Remember some of those cliches that I was talking about? Jesus died on the cross for me? That right there is theology. Theology is the truth about God. How do we know here that God created heaven and the earth? Okay. We all know that because it says it in Genesis 1, right? Now, in a sense, whether you like it or not, you are all theologians because you know the truth about God. We are all theologians. We know to a certain extent some truths about God. Right? Now, this is where it starts to get different. This is where it gets serious, these truths about God. We all carry truths about God. Now, the question is, are they real truths? If the truths we have about God are real or not are very important. Because our thoughts of God can create a wrong image of Him in our heads. For you to truly know God and grow in Him spiritually, you have to know Him theologically. For instance, if you have a son or a daughter, and in the future or whatever, you want to come to have a really close relationship with your kid, right? Like you're the parents of this wonderful child that you have. And for you to come to build a strong relationship with your son or your daughter, you have to know a couple truths about them, right? Definitely what they're allergic to. Because, you don't want them eating peanuts and like swelling up like a balloon and dying and losing your child. Okay, I went off a little there. But you want to know like her favorite color, what she likes to do, her favorite hobby, her favorite sport. Because in that, you get to know her more and you get to build a relationship with her more. The same with God. For me to come to know Him more and more, just mere. Now listen here. This is serious for some of you people, because I know that some of us here, as we're getting older, we're starting to realize that, okay, we're putting all these kid stuff to the side, and God is becoming more real in my life. I want you guys to get this. For me to come to know Him more and more, just mere spiritual experiences aren't enough. For me to come to know God more, spiritual experiences are not enough. Because there will come days where God's presence will be so far away from you, and when you pray, it will feel so dry. But by holding on to the truths about God, that He will never leave us or forsake us, we build faith, something that God describes in His Word as more valuable than spiritual encounters. Those truths about God, the theology and doctrine of God, are very important. These things are essential in the way we get to know God. And I myself, for a long while, I was depending on how I felt when I prayed, when I worshipped, when really, God wasn't always interested in giving me a new fire, let's say, or a new experience in Him, or something so awesome that I've never experienced before. Or else I'm not really having faith in Him, but more only when my faith is dependent on if He comes or not, if He speaks to me or not, if He shows me something or not. That's what I'm depending on. And God, there's this book of all truths, 66 books, 1,189 chapters, right there, just sitting there. And I'm here believing, God, just show me something. Show me, just show me. He's like, I've given you something so awesome over 40 generations, over 1,500 years of miracles. I've given you this. But by holding on to the truths, you get to build faith. So let's begin with these truths that I was just talking about so far. Let's begin with God's attributes. An attribute is a characteristic of a person that and produces that characteristic. For example, God is love. So that means He is loving. God forgives. So that means He is forgiving. And God is holy, which makes Him holy, and which makes Him sovereign. God has many attributes, right? Like for example, He's omniscient. He's not in one place. He can be at various places. In fact, He's at various places at all the time. People in Africa, when they're praying, God is there. God hears them. God sees them. God holds them in His hand. God sustains them with breath. People here in Toronto, your parents are not here right now. They could be going through a struggle right now. They can be like, God, give me patience. Not to slap this person in the face. Or God, the check, it's a little late. He's listening to that. He knows that. He sees that. He's at all places at all times. So that's an example of one attribute. But there are three main attributes of God. God is love. God is holy, and God is self-sufficient. God is self-sufficient. This attribute points to God's independence of himself. God does not sleep or eat. He doesn't need anything what us humans need to survive. And this points to what I said about God not being the one begging for attention, but the one holding us up, even when we don't consider it. This points to God not needing mankind. How can you say that, Chris? God loves us. Yes, he does love us, but he doesn't depend on anything. Everything depends on him. All the animals, all the birds. And there's a verse that Jesus said, he's talking to his disciples, don't worry what you're going to, Minister Vincent spoke about it. Don't worry what you're going to wear, what you're going to eat. Because the birds of the sky, God provides all these seeds for them. Why are you even thinking that I'm not going to provide for you? And I looked up on this because I'm a nerd. No, because I wanted to find out a little more. And I heard about this bird, this one bird. And of course, there's no such thing as one bird. There's a race of them, right? Like let's say Brazilians. There's a lot of Brazilians. Like dogs. There's a lot of dogs, right? And there's this one bird alone that every day, throughout the day, eats 10,000 seeds. And God is controlling that. God is controlling that every day. God is controlling this, what we're doing here, what's going on in the world. So, the second attribute, God is holy. I wanted to turn to Isaiah 6. Isaiah's commission. The book of Isaiah is basically a book of the prophet Isaiah, basically just recording his life and the things that God is doing, basically using him, right? And the title of this chapter is Isaiah's commission. This is when God basically officially calls him out. Okay, Isaiah, from now on you're a prophet. Right? So, verse 1, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord high and exalted, seated on a throne, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Now, how many of you guys have been in that sanctuary over there? Everyone, right? Let's imagine that as the temple that Isaiah is talking about. So Isaiah looks up. He sees God high and exalted on this throne, this huge being. And the train of his robe, like this stuff of his robe, fills that sanctuary over there. That's how big this God is. That's how awesome this God is. Above him, flying around, were seraphim, each with 6 wings. Now, seraphim are angelic creatures. They're like basically angels. Each with 6 wings. With 2 wings, they covered their faces. With 2, they covered their feet. And with 2, they were flying. 2, 4, 6. Yes, it adds up. And they were calling to one another, holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is filled with his glory. At the sound of their voices, the doorposts and thresholds shook, and the temple was filled with smoke. Woe to me, I cried. I am ruined, for I'm a man of unclean lips. Woe to me, I cried. I am ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips. And I live among a people of unclean lips. And my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty. Then one of the seraphim flew to me with a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from the altar. With it he touched my mouth and said, see, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away, and your sin is atoned for. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send? And who will go for us? And I said, here I am, Lord, send me. When you take this image of God and compare it to the ones most of us have, we come to see completely two different images. Some people have the image of God being small and fragile and unable to understand what I'm going through or comprehend us. But this image that the Bible just gave us right here, it's an awesome image. And these are one of many awesome images that the Bible has given us of God's holiness. Now, the holiness that the Bible talks about that is used to describe God, it isn't used to describe how big He is or how strong He is. The word holy describes God's otherness from us. God's separation, God's difference from us. The word holy describes God's otherness from us. That God is completely different in all of His ways. And He's completely holy makes Him completely different. His holiness intertwines with His self-sufficiency. And this holiness, why is it so completely different than us? Why is it compared to otherness? Because God is so pure, God is so awesome, God is so righteous, that He's so different from us. God is in a whole different category. He's in a whole different category. So God's separation from us is caused by sin. And before I go to explain the third attribute, that God is love, I'm going to explain sin. From the beginning of time, we see that man is being destroyed by sin. We have seen the lost seriousness of sin. The seriousness of sin is very important. It's very important in our lives. Now, sin charges the heftiest price of all. In Romans 6, verse 23, it says, "For the wages of sin is death." It's the price of sin. That's the price of every free song I download from the internet. Every free song I download from the internet. Death. But Chris, this is something so simple. Taking something from the internet and just downloading and putting it on your iPod. And what if it's Christian music, you know? What if I'm bumping Lecrae? Andy Mineo? These guys are Christian people. They won't mind. Listen, change. This thing called sin. Most of us have created this thing in our mind where there's a level of sin, where there's a difference between sins. As if homosexuality is more than jealousy. As if murder is more than hatred. As if pornography is more than lying. But really, God sees the seriousness of sin. And that's what I want to explain to you right now. God sees the seriousness of sin, so the way He acts may seem ridiculously exaggerated. But it's because of the seriousness of sin. That's why He acts the way He's acting. So when people are asked about their sins, the most common response is, well, you know, I'm not perfect. Are you perfect? And I'm forced to say, no, I'm not perfect. Okay, well, if you're so imperfect that God Himself had to make Himself into a man and come and die for you, well, that little imperfection of yours needs a little more consideration than you're giving it. I mean, for someone to die for you, maybe these little imperfections, maybe we got to think about them more. Maybe. Don't you think? Someone died because of this. There is no level of sin. Sin is sin. It is all an act of treason towards God. It's us choosing something so worthless compared to someone like God. in the Old Testament, we get to see firsthand how God treated sin. And here's an example of God. Your eyes are too pure to look on evil. You cannot tolerate wicked doing. So, this is an example of God's holiness and the seriousness of sin, that He can't look upon evil. He can't tolerate wickedness. Now, God commanded man to provide a substitute for their sin. So God would tell them what to do. The firstborn lamb, without any defects, had to be perfect. If you read in the Old Testament, God just goes on this long list of every single detail of what this man called Moses had to do. Because Samuel, can you stand up for me, please? Stand up. Alright, let's pretend Samuel is Moses right now, right? Let's pretend he shaved and he lost a lot of weight. Now, Moses was the leader of this tribe, called Israel. And God had chosen this tribe. He was like, I'm going to make you guys so exalted above other nations, and I'm going to give you this place called the Promised Land. Right? Anyone ever watched VeggieTales? Basically, that's what we're talking about. So, God would speak to Moses, which is Samuel right now. He said, Samuel, you have to go into the herd, get the best firstborn. It has to be firstborn. It has to be completely white. It cannot have no blemishes, no defects, no spots. It has to be strong and healthy. I want you to take that lamb. I want you to come to the altar here, over here, so they would march. They would build an altar. And again, God will describe them how to do it. Thank you, Moses. So the people will get it and bring it to an altar, and their process of atonement would happen. Without understanding of this word atonement, we can never understand sin or Jesus. Leviticus 17:11. For the life of a creature is in the blood, and I have given it to you to make atonement for yourselves on the altar. It is the blood that makes atonement for one's life. So yes, they do kill the lamb. Wow, why does God want to kill this little pretty lamb? Well, that lamb has life in it. It has blood, right? And since we have sinned, that punishment of sin is what? Death. So I can't die. I want to live. So God gives me a solution. You bring that innocent lamb over there that has nothing to do with you. You bring him over here and you slay him. It's a seriousness of sin. Serious. No joke. So the second your heart stops,